Artificial intelligence has of course moved from a buzzword to being adopted into practically everyday things, and one of them is in movies. I know the next question is, what's up with AI in Nollywood? Well, it looks like it's about to hit real big, and I say this because of some of the things I've seen, and that is what I will be showing you in this next segment with Obinna Okere-Kiocha, the founder of the Nigeria AI Film Festival. We'll catch up with him from our digital studio. Let's go there. Thank you for joining us on this side of the conversation, and as promised, I'm now being joined by someone who knows so much about AI, and he's the founder of the first film festival about AI in Africa, the Nigeria AI Festival, right?
Nigeria AI Film Festival.
Nigeria AI Film Festival, absolutely. And I must say, one thing that we must both agree on now is that AI is no longer a buzzword. We are seeing it in play in our everyday life and all of that. How big is AI contributing to the showbiz space right now?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's great to be here. Thanks for having me. So, AI is making a huge difference when it comes to media, entertainment. Like we see what is happening in business and everyday life with ChatGPT, with Gemini, with Claude, and all these other models that we have. But when it comes to media, we see that a lot of people are going to create content with AI. So we see a lot of there's this series that's been going around people using AI to create Bible stories, Bible characters, and bringing them to life.
I saw them.
Yeah, so what is and creating very funny, scenarios, Nigerian scenarios, and things that make us laugh. I think what we cannot deny is the fact that AI has become a game changer when it comes to content creation. So the question now becomes, you don't need a camera, or you don't need to have an editing tool. All you need is just know how to prompt, and you can prompt in ideas from whatever ideas, whether it's funny, whether you're telling funny stories, or you're writing a film, or you're writing a document, whatever it is, you now have the power to tell the story that you want to tell. So I think it's a complete game changer for the show business space.
Absolutely, and you shared some videos with us.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
Yes.
Right. So
stories are from Africa, and the time has come to tell them. Africa at the intersection of art and tech. We must fight for the future of African storytelling. The time is now. Our stories must win.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, no, this can't be real, right? This looks like somebody that I perhaps know from, one of the Nollywood superheroes and all of that. So speak to us about the creation of this.
Yeah, so basically this is an output, what I call generated video from inputted prompt. So basically, to generate something like this, you would need, first of all, a prompt that describes exactly what you are seeing, and then you put that into a model, any model, and there's so many of them, from Runway to Halo to Kling, to Midjourney, and they create videos. So basically, the prompt was essentially, an African warrior, fighting in the heat of battle at sunset, essentially. So
you have to describe.
You have to
exactly. So,
exactly.
Sunsets, African warrior.
Exactly, and depth of field, so that we magnify what's in the foreground and we blow what's in the background. So you feel, and cinematic. So it looks as if it's color graded. It looks like it's a steal from a film. So all that information goes into the prompt. Yeah.
How long did it take you to create this?
To be honest, to create one video, a prompt, depending on how fast your internet is and how quickly you're in, because everything is online. So it could take between 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes
to generate one of these videos.
If you were shooting this normally, it would take the entire day.
It could take.
I've been to different film sets.
Yes.
And this one as well.
What is the future of African storytelling? How do we tell the stories we've always wanted to tell?
So because if you can imagine it, because I can't
happen?
believe that, just imagine if a filmmaker needed to create this entire background to project this conversation.
Yes. So basically, if you wanted to do this in real life, this is obviously a futuristic looking background. You have to shoot it against what they call chroma key or green screen or blue screen, and then get a CGI or VFX artist to create that entire background and then match the camera movement. That in itself could take from, if you're working very fast with a big budget behind it, between 2-3 weeks to a month or 2 months, depending on how detailed you want to be. So it takes a time. This entire thing was just one prompt, and in less than 5 minutes I had my video.
In less than 5 minutes?
Yes, I had my video. Right. Yes.
All right. So you know why a lot of practitioners in the industry are perhaps not going to be worried. Let me not say they're not going to like it. They're going to be worried because you perhaps would have needed a set designer, you'd have needed a sound guy, you'd have needed a light guy, a cinematographer, a DOP.
Correct.
Actor.
Correct.
You've eliminated like 6 or more roles to create all of these things. Why should the industry be excited?
Yeah, so that's a very great question. Now, the thing about it is that I've always said that AI is never going to replace the human touch, the human nuance, that thing that humanity, a human being brings to any sort of creation. Because at the end of the day, even this was created by a human being because you also need the intellect of how to prompt. But what is interesting is that, I give you an example. If I wanted to make this film and I didn't probably have the budget, but I was trying to raise money, I could go to Bidemi, who's an investor, and say, and Bidemi has all the money, and say, okay, Bidemi, I want to make a film. This is what my film will look like. But to actually hire the experts that are going to do this film, I need to get this money from you. So when you see my vision, so rather than give you a PowerPoint slide saying, oh, I want to make a film about something in the future, this is what it can look like. And he says, oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so how much are you looking for? You get my point. So the point is, how does technology help us attain that future? And don't also forget that, with what is happening in the world, it's not just about, okay, everything has to be fully AI. There's even something called hybrid, where you have parts of it are live action, parts of it are AI. There's certain things, like for instance, AI.
Hold that thought. I remember it.
Remember
that video.
Exactly. We can still go into that. Yes.
That video. And I think...
that's it, the Aleph.
I think
No,
this.
No, not this one. It's the other one. But there's
but wait,
we can start with this one.
This is a hybrid, right?
This is sort of like VFX. This is sort of like VFX. So basically, I just said, so this is where I live. I said, okay, put a giraffe in the middle of...
But this is original.
I shot this with my phone.
With your phone, right?
Exactly. And I now told, this is a software called, a model called Runway Aleph. Essentially.
Let's not advertise.
sorry.
Let's not do that. And advertise. Right.
Yeah. So basically, what I did was, the prompt was, I want a giraffe in the center of the shot, and I was able to add a giraffe. Yeah. So I think you can play the other video, which essentially pretty much shows what you can do with. I think it's the second. That's the
this one.
No, not that one. No, this is. We'll come back to this first one.
This one here? Okay, this one here.
That one, yeah. So we need to go back here.
Stories are from Africa.
Right.
Yes, that one, yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, this is what about... Okay, let me not reveal. So this flood is generated by...
Yes, by AI, correct.
All right, so what was the prompt? Because, you're looking at this, you need to write the prompt for the flood, the prompt for the animals, the prompt for the cars flipping, and that appears to be also very tedious. Tedious.
I think it's not necessarily. I think it's just knowing again what you want to create. So basically, what I did was, okay, so I was actually testing out a new tool, and I was like, okay, let me see how powerful this thing is, right? They said it can do X, Y, Z, right? So I said, okay, I'll film my estate. Because I actually live from my essay, and then say I want a tsunami, like a tsunami with a lot of flood and some cars flipping, and I was able to describe exactly. I want to see real physics. I want to see the water splashing on the walls like it were real, and then I created that. It generated that for me.
All right, and the tool you use accepted the video that you...
Oh yeah, sure. You just upload your video and then you describe it and say, I want X, Y, Z to be done to this video, and then it goes through it and then gives you the output. Correct.
So I've also had people who have been working although in a limited space of AI speak to the consistency of the characters. Sometimes, like for instance, we look at this is a 1 minute 40 seconds long video.
Yes.
We might not want to play all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But
there's some consistent characters,
so you now have characters interacting, right?
Correct.
Like from here.
Yes.
Like
absolutely.
touch and all of these cases here and there. And then the next scene, some people believe that sometimes the character might not be consistent, and then you see a face that is perhaps not
different from what.
Do you have to deal with that, and how do you take that out of the project you're working on?
Yeah, so fantastic. So if you're dealing with multiple characters, probably in a drama situation, what used to happen was there was a bit of a challenge with some of the models, but now that's completely changed because you can now have models that give you character consistency, and it's as simple as you take take one scene, you feed it into your model, and it creates multiple shots for you. And then, so that way your character is concerned. So in your long shots, you want the character to look like that. In your tight shots, you want the character to look like that. So it's a lot of the models we have now have solved that problem. You know, obviously we can't mention names, but they've been able to solve that problem. So now you can have 2-3 people having a conversation and the challenge is always when they change angles. Like it becomes something as well. Now it's now character consistency because you're able to create multiple angles of the same shot and then keep your character consistent all through the story that you're trying to tell. So that problem has been solved.
Right. There's something I also need to know. Are you able to take a video of a model or an actor, say for instance, who's my favorite actress? Nancy Simon.
Yes.
Take a video of Nancy Simon, for instance, and then you put it and say, okay, I want Nancy Simon to be my lead character, my lead cast, and then you have that video, the AI generates her for the rest of the scene.
100%. Now, obviously, with Nancy's consent and legal agreement, we can actually take what she looks like, program her into various angles, and then just deploy her as an AI avatar. Correct, that can be done. That's what. In fact, I tell you what, I tell people that the future of, so imagine an actor, let's say Nancy, for instance, since you mentioned Nancy. So Nancy can only be on one set at one time.
Right.
She can only be on one project at one time. Now, imagine a situation where she's able to now license her avatar, and she can be her AI avatar, and she can be on several projects at the same time, and she's earning money from all those projects. And she won't be in all the scenes. She might be, Nancy only want you for that scene, she gets paid. Because what used to happen is actors turn up, oh, I'm sorry, I'm shooting XYZ, yes. I can, but now, with what is coming, we're going to have AI agencies that manage AI avatars. So think about the perspective and the potential for revenue. So when people say, that's why I keep telling people, you need to look at the opportunities AI is going to create for you.
Finally, we can get this in the Nollywood.
Exactly, I say, which is consent.
Yes,
that's it. And we pay, exactly, and we pay him and then he's in the film. And that's the future. That's where we're going to with this technology.
And speaking about the future, you must cultivate an ecosystem.
Correct.
And that's what you're doing
Correct.
At your film festival.
Correct.
Speak to us about the ecosystem that we have right now within our own filming.
Yes. So in terms of, so I think that the embrace of technology has been there from a post-production standpoint. You have people who do VFX, CGI, lots of people are doing a lot of stuff, even with practical effects, and we've got some really talented people in Nollywood. But for me, the vision for the festival what is the future for African storytelling? Like I was saying, are there a crop of filmmakers who are looking for how to tell the stories they've never been able to tell? I'll give you an example. You know how we used to talk about the stories of the tortoise, and the tortoise had this meeting in the sky, and they gathered all the animals. If you were going to make that as an animation, how much are you going to spend on doing that? True. But now we've been able to prompt properly. You can now tell those stories. So my point is, what is the future of African storytelling? How can we attain that future using technology? And how do we empower storytellers in Africa to tell the stories they've never been able to tell? And that's essentially what gave birth to the idea for the Nigeria Film Festival. To be a place where we celebrate these people, show what is possible, the potential of what they can do, and then open up the space to a point where we're collaborating with established filmmakers. So let's even come together, experiment. Let's try new stuff. And that's what gave birth to that idea. How do we empower filmmakers to tell stories they've never been able to tell using this medium, using this art form? And again, what I also want to say is, I noticed that Africa is whispering circumference to the world. All this technology is used by a lot of people in the West, and then by the time we start to practice, or by the time we start to get into the fold, we're sort of behind. I want us to be at the forefront of saying, we're using this technology to tell our own stories, to magnify our culture. Because I also think that AI it's a medium where we can actually codify our culture to even keep it as a legacy. By the time we training on our nuance, on our culture, on our language, on our fashion, we can actually preserve these things with artificial intelligence for people coming that kind of train our own model. So for me, this is the vision, and it's something that I want to pursue for a long time, because I feel that this technology is here to stay. It's not going anywhere.
Absolutely. And of course, with what you've done already, we can't wait to see what you will be doing in the future. Of course, I must let you go now. We're completely out of time. There's so much to speak about, but there's one thing that we must assure our viewers of, and that is the fact that you're here in person and you're not an AI generated conversation.
This is the real guy here.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. We wish you all of the best with your film festival. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.